Today, we're going to dive into a condition that messes with the sleep of millions of people, often without them even knowing it. It's this unseen interruption that is so much more than just a bad case of snoring. We're talking about sleep apnea. You know that feeling? You get a full 8 hours, but you wake up and you just feel drained. It's that kind of deep, persistent exhaustion that a whole pot of coffee can't even touch. Well, that feeling, that's a classic sign that your sleep isn't really doing its job. And if you feel that way, you are definitely not alone. It's estimated that a staggering 1 billion people around the world have obstructive sleep apnea. Think about that number. That's a massive global health issue that, for the most part, just flies completely under the radar. Now, we all know that loud snoring is kind of the poster child for sleep apnea, right? But that's really just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. So let's get into the other signs, the ones that often get missed. This right here paints a picture of what's happening every single night. The snoring isn't just loud, it's often broken up by these eerie periods of silence. And those silent moments, that's when breathing has actually stopped. Often, it's a partner who notices this total pause, followed by a sudden gasp or a snort as the body literally fights for air. It's no wonder this leads to waking up with headaches, a dry throat, and of course that overwhelming feeling of being sleepy all day long.
So what is actually going on here? What's happening inside your body that's causing all these problems? Let's break down what this disorder really is.
At its very core, sleep apnea just means your breathing stops and starts, again and again and again, all night long. Each one of these pauses, they're called apneas, lasts for at least 10 seconds, but they can go on for a minute, sometimes even longer. Just imagine that cycle happening over and over, starving your body of oxygen and keeping you from getting that deep, restorative sleep you need.
Now, this is crucial to understand. Not all sleep apnea is the same. The most common kind, obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, is basically a plumbing problem. Your throat muscles get a little too relaxed and your airway physically collapses. But with central sleep apnea, or CSA, it's more of a signaling problem. The issue isn't a blockage, it's that the brain just forgets to tell the breathing muscles to do their job.
And all these nightly interruptions, they do a lot more than just make you tired. They put an incredible amount of strain on your entire body, and that can lead to some really serious long-term health dangers. Okay, so here's what's happening on the inside. Every single time you stop breathing, the oxygen in your blood just plummets. Your brain, sensing danger, panics. It floods your system with stress hormones to jolt you awake just enough to take a breath. Now imagine that violent cycle repeating maybe hundreds of times a night. It puts a massive amount of stress on your heart and your whole cardiovascular system. And all that nightly strain, well, it adds up. Untreated sleep apnea is directly linked to a much higher risk of high blood pressure, heart attacks, stroke, even type 2 diabetes. And it messes with your brain too, causing problems with memory and concentration, that feeling a lot of people just call brain fog. You see, this isn't just about sleep. It's about your entire well-being. You know, maybe the most shocking thing about all this is just how many people have no idea they're dealing with it. An estimated 80%, let me say that again, 80% of adults with obstructive sleep apnea are walking around completely undiagnosed. They just blame being tired on getting older or being stressed out, never realizing there's a treatable medical condition behind it all. So this all leads to a really important question. How do you know if you might be in that undiagnosed 80%? Let's take a look at the key risk factors. Now, while carrying extra weight is a major risk factor, it is definitely not the only one. Things like your anatomy, your age, even your gender play a huge role. Lifestyle choices, like smoking or having a few drinks before bed, can make things worse. And sometimes it's just in your genes, a simple family history of the condition. But here is the most important part of this whole conversation, the really good news. Sleep apnea is highly treatable. If any of this is sounding familiar, there is a clear path forward, a way to get a diagnosis and get back to the healthy, restful sleep your body is craving. So the journey just starts with a simple conversation with your doctor. That's it. From there, they'll probably recommend a sleep study. Now, this isn't as scary as it sounds. You can do it overnight in a special lab, or what's way more common now, you can use a portable kit right in the comfort of your own bed. The test just measures your breathing, your oxygen levels, and your heart rate to see what's going on. For moderate to severe cases, the absolute gold standard for treatment is something called CPAP.
And yeah, it can look a little intimidating, but the idea is actually super simple. A machine pushes a gentle, steady stream of air through a mask, and that air pressure acts like a little invisible support to keep your airway open. For so many people, this is nothing short of life-changing. Now, for milder cases, or for people who just can't get used to CPAP, an oral appliance is a fantastic alternative. It's basically a custom-fit device, kind of like a mouthguard that's made by a specially trained dentist, and it just works by gently moving your lower jaw forward a tiny bit, just enough to keep that airway from closing up while you're asleep. And guess what? The options don't even stop there. Simple lifestyle changes like losing some weight can make a world of difference. In some cases, surgery can fix a physical blockage. And there are even newer technologies, like a small implanted device that helps keep the airway open. The main takeaway here is that there are solutions, lots of them. So, we end right back where we started, knowing that sleep apnea is so common, so serious, but also so treatable. It's really worth asking yourself this question. Could a better night's sleep truly change your life? If you are sick and tired of being tired, looking into your sleep might do more than just help you feel rested. It could literally protect your health for years to come. Thanks for digging into this with us.